Alright, man. So tomorrow is the day we hitting that thing in. You know what I'm saying? If y'all been keeping up, I've been talking about this PC that I've been getting for about like the past 5 days. You know what I'm saying? I ordered the PC last week on the weekend, probably Saturday. You know what I'm saying? I was supposed to get it Friday, but it kind of got delayed or whatnot. So I'm getting it tomorrow, actually. It is a RTX 5060, you know what I'm saying? A good little mid-tier PC, you know what I'm saying? For my monitor is great, you know what I'm saying? The monitor I'm using is 1080p, 100 hertz refresh rate, so that's perfect for what I'm, you know what I'm saying, what I'm doing. I was gonna start a series with Resident Evil. I actually bought it on my PlayStation. But I was like, man, fuck that. We finna just play that on my PC. See how that shit look, you know what I'm saying? Because I already know how the RE engine looks on console, you know what I'm saying? The last Resident Evil that I played was Resident Evil Village. And honestly, that's the only Resident Evil I think I really played, you know what I'm saying? So in today's video, we're gonna be watching a video by Game Vote. It's Resident Evil All Main Heroes, their last known status before you start Resident Evil Requiem. So I'm just gonna get like caught up on what you know what I'm saying, what's going on and out before we hop in and you know what I'm saying, make the purchase on Steam to eventually play, you know what I'm saying, Resident Evil Requiem, you know what I'm saying? So let's get into it, man.
Ahead of Requiem's release, we felt it's a good idea to look back at all of the people we've made fond memories with over the franchise's history, and to look at how the meta-narrative has shaped their lives. Resident Evil might be a story about the fear and trauma that comes with the irresponsible research into human weapons by an organization that was selfish enough to think only of its goals. But there's a flip side to that, apparently. The Raccoon City incident and the subsequent ripples it caused over several other places that we visited over the years has another reoccurring theme to it: the resilience of the people who were forced to bear the brunt of its devastation. We've met quite a few of those folks over the years, each of them bringing unique perspectives and a whole lot of courage to their respective stories within the franchise's lore. And ahead of Grace joining the illustrious ranks with Leon bringing a fresh new approach to dealing with BOWs in Requiem, we're taking a look at a few important characters from the past and their current place in the story. Why, you ask? Well, it's because of an underlying sentiment that guides each of these core characters' narratives. We're setting out to show you that in Resident Evil's world, you don't just escape the nightmare, you carry it for a long time to come. Let's dive in. Familiar faces with varying trajectories. Although each of these characters have suffered the trauma that comes when you're face to face with a BOW, they each have their own reasons for continuing their fight, or perhaps choosing to attempt to leave it behind. Their reasons and motivations may vary, but they're all symbolic of a character trait that has served each of them well over their adventures: an unwillingness to be cowed down by fear or helplessness. For these individuals, survival wasn't the end of the journey, but the beginning of a new one. We're going to be looking at their place in the overall narrative and their last known status within the franchise's narrative framework. Chris Redfield, the soldier and mentor. We begin with Chris. We've seen at multiple points in Resident Evil
I think I
with his
see him
last
in
appearance
Village.
being in Village.
Yeah.
At this point, he had already spent the better part of his life fighting BOWs whenever he found them,
Mhm,
the
I
last of
remember
them
this.
being Miranda. He's currently a mentor to Rose Winters,
remember her.
whom he cares for owing to his guilt over the role he played in Ethan Winters' death. He currently leads the BSAA's Wolfhound Squad, training Rose to be one among its ranks, although she does keep some of her mutant abilities secret from him.
Oh yeah, she do got ability. They had a DLC
Jill
with her.
Valentine, the quintessential survivor. After her time as Wesker's captive and mind control subordinate in Resident Evil 5, Valentine continues to be driven by her determination to put an end to bioweapons. To that end, she underwent extensive rehabilitation before she was welcomed back into the BSAA by Chris and Burton, an old friend who was the then director of the organization. Her last known mission took her to Alcatraz in San Francisco, where she worked alongside Chris and Claire to bring down Dylan Blake, a terrorist with quite a bone to pick with organizations whose work involved BOWs. The encounter ends with her successfully ending the threat and expressing her pleasure at being back to her old self and happiness to be among the BSAA's ranks again. Leon S. Kennedy, a super cop with secrets. Leon rubbed shoulders with Chris, Claire, Jill, and later on with Rebecca Chambers after being made to work for the DSO after he survived the worst first day for a rookie cop in Raccoon City. While his career fighting BOWs might have started on an unwilling note, he remains committed to ensuring that what he endured never happens again. He had a role to play in the Alcatraz incident, working with Jill to uncover the truth behind events there, and even joined Chris in distracting Blake's mutated form while she brought it down. That brings us to Requiem, where his investigations into the Wrenwood murders lead him to Road Hills Chronic Care Center for a chat with Victor Gideon before all hell breaks loose. There is speculation that there might be a personal layer to his investigation, although we're going to have to wait and see how that plays out. It's confirmed that he is infected, judging by official trailers of Requiem. Claire Redfield, an empath through and through. As Chris's sister, Claire has spent a lot of time hounding her brother's footsteps as his investigation into Umbrella took him to Europe. She's come a long way from her first appearance alongside Leon and currently works with TerraSave, an organization that assists victims of bioterrorism. Claire was last seen alongside other members of the franchise's cast on Alcatraz, sharing a lighter moment with her brother, Leon, and Jill in the aftermath of their fight against David Blake. Ada Wong, deadly and devious. Wherever Leon goes, you can expect Ada to be there too. The two characters often find themselves in each other's way, with Ada often working alongside Leon despite their goals being unaligned. She's been quite valuable to Leon's investigations over the years, but often has her own angle in play. Her motivations are often murky, but she does seem to have a softer side to her cynical personality. We last saw Wong investigating her doppelganger, a former research assistant working for Derek Simmons, who was betrayed by him and turned into a perfect copy of her. Wong works alongside Leon to take down Simmons and the fake version of her, and destroy the laboratory housing all of the associated research. She then left to go to another job, the specifics of which remain currently unknown. We're hoping that her path brings her to Leon's investigation once again in Requiem, but nothing's been confirmed yet. Rebecca Chambers, brains over brawn. Chambers is an interesting one. Her academic inclinations hide her abilities as a capable operative in the field, a facet of her character that we've seen during her investigations of the Ecliptic Express and the Spencer Mansion. However, she went on to become a consultant for the BSAA, supporting its field operatives through her research and fighting the threat of BOWs in her own way. Her last appearance was at Alcatraz, where she was instrumental in bringing down David Blake by redirecting the drones he intended to use to spread a strain of the virus out in the world, using them to incapacitate his mutated form long enough for the others to defeat it. Once again, her last appearance was with the other cast members, celebrating their victory before they were evacuated from the scene. Sherry Birkin, devoted to the cause. As the daughter of William Birkin and a carrier of the G-Virus strain, Sherry's long years in protective custody in the aftermath of Raccoon City's destruction would see her regenerative abilities stemming from exposure to the virus, making her a lab rat for the likes of Derek Simmons. However, Albert Wesker's death allowed her to be free of custody and take on a role.
What was that one Resident Evil with the big tall lady? I think that released on PS5 too. I think I played that one too. I can't remember the name of that. That can't be Village, right? It can't be. It was in a big like mansion or whatnot. I remember playing that one too. So I only played like 2 Resident Evils, bro. I'm young. I ain't play the 1, the 2. I didn't play the remasters either because it's kind of like I was jumping around. So I didn't really get the gist of the main, you know what I'm saying, the whole story or whatnot. So, you know what I'm saying?
The DSO, a development that she was alright with, having seen the devastation that bioterrorism often wrought on the lives of those it affected. Her last appearance was in RE6, where her efforts to rescue Jake Muller, the son of Albert Wesker, while escaping from his captivity at the hands of Dr. Carla Redames. After successfully taking her and Simmons out of the equation and convincing Jake to provide samples of his blood as a means of developing a vaccine for the C virus, Birkin continues to work for the DSO and is currently among their ranks alongside Leon. Interestingly, she covers her hands, leading some to speculate that she is infected in Requiem.
Everybody infected.
A father and friend. Barry's history with Chris would lead him down a road in which stars and the BSAA would benefit from his weapons and combat expertise. However, as a family man, his fight against bioterrorism would often leave him torn between his duties as a father and soldier, a facet of his character arc that came to a head in Revelations 2. The last we saw of him was in that game, his search for Moira after her abduction from Terra Save, leading him to a confrontation with Alex Wesker. He's last seen enjoying life with his daughters, his friendship with Claire continuing after the events that led him to rescue her and Moira. His affiliation with the BSAA likely continues as well. Carlos Oliveira, a rare survivor. Carlos worked with Jill to escape Nemesis and the devastation of Raccoon City, enduring a lot of hardships to manage that feat. He didn't let his affirmation with the UBSC stop him from working with the former STARS member, displaying bravery and a cool head on his shoulders that reflected his training as a heavy weapons expert and sort of a jack of all trades within his unit. He was last seen in Mexico, having escaped the US and harboring a grudge against Umbrella for what the corporation's actions had put him through. Hunk, the Insane Warrior. As one of the most enigmatic characters in the franchise, Hunk's time in RE2 is followed by a mission for Umbrella that would put him in the path of Alfred Ashford, a base commander whose secretive nature was a cause for suspicion in Hunk's eyes. After Umbrella fell from grace, he would go on to become a very famous mercenary and develop his own fighting style called Close Quarters Quarantine Battle Zone, and a bunch of cool gear that assisted that style. Perhaps Leon's new repertoire of skills is connected to it in some way. We won't have to wait too long to find out. Ethan Winters, more than just a memory. The protagonist of Biohazard and Village might have heroically sacrificed his life to give his daughter Rose a fighting chance against Miranda, but part of his consciousness would continue to live on in it until Rose needed a guide to help her take it down. He succeeded in helping her out, giving her the last of his power to help her gain the upper hand over Eveline. It's currently unknown whether that fragment of his soul survived that encounter, but it looks like he's gone for good, with Rose now at peace with her powers and fondly looking back at her time with him. Characters that go beyond their stories. Among the Resident Evil franchise's greatest strengths is the fact that its many protagonists are more than just characters in a story. They're an immune response to the virus that has devastated so many lives. They are evidence that survival is not only a possibility, but only a stepping stone to greater pursuits, each of which has prevented more suffering as a result. But any immune response is only as good as the system that sustains it. And the franchise has had many bad eggs that go directly against the noble intentions of the few good people who want a world without bioterrorism. That seemingly endless struggle is something that we suspect Grace is going to have to come to terms with in Requiem. And fast. She's likely going to understand that the biohazard may change, but the survivors remain as a bulwark against it.
Village.
Here's to hoping that she gets to join their ranks, Leon at her side to help her out. Hey, did you know that we at Gaming Bolt upload new videos every...
Alright. So not really caught up, but shit, we got a gist of the characters and whatnot. I don't know. I'm sure I played two Resident Evil games. I played one on PS4. I remember that one. I can't remember the name, but I know it was like it started you off in this like house. It was with this fucked up ass family. If I find the title, I'll put it right here. And then it was another Resident Evil I played. I think that was Village. You know what I'm saying? We had one with the big tall lady. You know what I'm saying? And it was in a mansion. I'll put that one right here. So I played only two, basically. But you know what I'm saying? We're gonna get into Requiem. We're gonna try that on PC. You know what I'm saying? See how that shit look. I'm actually excited to actually play that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna keep y'all updated with that. And I'm probably won't be uploading every day, because with working and everything, I'll probably have to play the game one day and then maybe edit the other day. But if I can, I'll try to get one every day, you know what I'm saying? But with my edits, I want my edits to be, you know what I'm saying, crazy, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to just be there, just me playing the game, you know what I'm saying? I want to make it entertaining for you guys. So, you know what I'm saying? Without further ado, man, I'm going to let y'all boys get out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow is the day. You know what I'm saying? Stay tuned, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to show y'all boys how that goes, you know what I'm saying? So, if you like the video, like, comment, subscribe. Fuck with your boy. It's your boy, Bill. I'll catch y'all on the next one.